Di ba sir, last yung parang mga 10:20?
10:20.
Mas parang late
Okay.
tayo nag-start.
Start na tayo, May, ha? Start na.
Magandang araw mga kababayan. This is Dante Klink ang II, Chairperson of the Commission on Filipinos Overseas. The CFO is the government agency that helps Filipino immigrants prepare for a successful life overseas. Unlike other migrant-focused agencies, the CFO plays a unique role in strengthening the economic, cultural, and political ties between Filipinos overseas and the Philippines. Even before our kababayan leave for foreign lands, CFO equips immigrants with information and helps them easily integrate into their destination countries and prepares them to become successful ambassadors of Filipino culture and excellence. For us at the Commission on Filipinos Overseas, the global Filipino diaspora is an untapped resource beyond remittances, waiting to be unlocked for intellectual, cultural, and national growth. As we strengthen a fabric that connects the global Filipino community through various programs and initiatives, we transform the challenges of brain drain into opportunities of brain gain. The CFO seeks to nurture the strong sense of Filipino community across the globe, while also encouraging them to contribute to the nation's development. We thank Radyo Pilipinas for giving us this platform to the challenges and triumphs of migration and development. We hope that the global Pinoy will be made aware of the programs and services that empower them toward meaningful migration and pave the way to immigrant success. Tandaan, kabayan, para sa inyo ito, mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Narito na ang programang mag-uugnay sa mga Pilipinong naninirahan sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Serbisyong CFO sa Bagong Pilipinas. Serbisyong hatid ng Commission on Filipino Overseas at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Ang programang magtatampok sa mga proyekto at serbisyo publiko upang mapalakas ang ugnayan ng milyong-milyong Pilipino sa kanilang bansang pinagmulan. Serbisyong CFO sa Bagong Pilipinas. Dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Tinig ng bayan, lakas ng katotohanan.
Himpapawid na may layuning paglingkuran ang sambayanan.
Sa bawat kwento may diwa ng serbisyo.
Sa bawat balita, may puso at paninindigan. Ito ang
Serbisyong CFO sa Bagong Pilipinas.
Serbisyong CFO sa Bagong Pilipinas. Dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Magandang araw, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao.
At magandang araw din po sa lahat ng Pilipino saan man sa mundo.
Ito ang Tambalang.
Jairus Madlang Bayan.
At Ares Gutierrez, kayo'y nakikinig sa serbisyong CFO sa Bagong Pilipinas, handog ng Commission on Filipinos Overseas at ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Mga kababayan, ngayon po ay Martes na naman, 17 ng Marso 2026. Magtungo po tayo sa mga balitang may kinalaman sa ating mga overseas Pinoys.
Nandito na ang mga mahahalagang balita at anunsyo mula sa Commission on Filipinos Overseas. Balitang CFO. Balitang CFO. Dito lamang sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
CFO partners with Encyclopedia Britannica Australia to provide educational resources to Philippine schools overseas.
Amendments to the implementing guidelines of the expanded Centenarians Act discussed on an interagency meeting.
Nominations for the 2026 Presidential Awards for Filipino individuals and organizations is still open.
Nandito na ang mga mahahalagang balita at anunsyo mula sa Commission on Filipinos Overseas. Balitang CFO. Balitang CFO. Dito lamang sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
The Commission on Filipinos Overseas has partnered with the Encyclopedia Britannica Australia to strengthen learning for students of Philippine schools overseas. During the signing ceremony, Secretary Dante Klink ang II highlighted the importance of helping overseas Filipino students get access to more learning materials. Encyclopedia Britannica Australia will also conduct a series of webinars for PSOs beginning April 1 to promote educational resources, programs, and products that will aid PSOs in their learning advocacy.
Nandito na ang mga mahahalagang balita at anunsyo mula sa Commission on Filipinos Overseas. Balitang CFO. Balitang CFO. Dito lamang sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
The Commission on Filipinos Overseas recently met with representatives from the National Commission of Senior Citizens and the Department of Foreign Affairs to discuss inputs and recommendations to be included in the draft memorandum circular amending the implementing guidelines of the expanded Centenarians Act. The discussion focused particularly on provisions affecting overseas Filipino senior citizens, as the agency mandated to attend to overseas Filipinos who have permanently migrated abroad. The CFO also attends to elderly Filipinos who are based overseas, qualified to receive all under the expanded Centenarians Act. Simplified documentary and procedural requirements will be introduced in the guidelines to ensure a more efficient implementation of the law.
Nandito na ang mga mahahalagang balita at anunsyo mula sa Commission on Filipinos Overseas. Balitang CFO. Balitang CFO. Dito lamang sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Nominations are still open for the 2026 Presidential Awards for Filipino individuals and organizations overseas. Nominations will still be accepted until May 29, 2026, and please watch this short video for more details.
From every corner of the world, the Filipino spirit shines through compassion, excellence, and service. Wherever they may be, our kababayans continue to bring honor to the nation. The Presidential Awards for Filipino Individuals and Organizations Overseas, or PAFIO, celebrates the extraordinary contributions of Filipinos abroad and international partners whose contributions transcend borders and uplift the Filipino spirit. Established in 1991 through Executive Order 498 under the presidency of President Corazon C. Aquino, the PAFIO was born from a deep gratitude for the global Filipino community's unwavering support for the nation's growth and resilience. From this vision grew a platform that honors excellence, service, and global solidarity in many different forms. The PAFIO honors contributions across 4 distinct categories, each celebrating different facets of excellence and service. The Banaag Award recognizes collective action that uplifts Filipino communities abroad, emphasizing the power of collaboration and support. The Pamana ng Pilipino Award acknowledges individual excellence and distinction in various fields, highlighting the remarkable achievements of Filipinos worldwide. The Lingkod sa Kapwa Pilipino, or Linkapil Award, honors those who give back through humanitarian efforts and nation building, showcasing the spirit of giving and dedication to the Philippines' progress. Lastly, the Kaanib ng Bayan Award recognizes foreign partners who have gone above and beyond in championing the Filipino cause, underscoring the importance of global collaboration. Since 1991, 555 individuals and organizations from 55 countries and territories were conferred with PAFIO by 7 presidents. Their achievements remind us that the Filipino spirit transcends borders, making an indelible mark on the world stage. This 2026, the search continues. The Commission on Filipinos Overseas invites nominations for the next presidential awardees, individuals and organizations whose achievements and service continue to inspire the world. Nominations open on December 11, 2025 and close on May 29, 2026. Beyond the milestones and figures of the PAFIO are the real hearts behind the mission, the men and women whose service embody the true spirit of the Presidential Awards. Visit the PAFIO website to know more about the awards and download the nomination form from the QR code and official links provided.
See you again, Jairus.
Good to see you din,
Parang
sir.
ang tagal-tagal na natin hindi nagkita.
Kaya nga, Sir Aris, ang dami pong nangyari, no po, in a span of a week.
Oo nga eh.
Opo.
Masyadong busy yung CFO sa maraming bagay, maraming mga partnership signings.
Marami rin po tayong pinagpaplanuhan in the upcoming months.
Kaya nga,
No po?
and on top of that, biglang nagbago yung ating work week.
Yes, opo.
We are now following the 4-day work
Four-day
week
work
in
week, no?
compliance with the President's directive.
For sure, marami din po tayong mga kapwa kawani na nanonood ngayon na nakaka-relate sa ating temporary set.
And of course, yun pa rin, we're still monitoring the situation in the
Yes.
Middle East. And we hope and pray matapos na, no, para
Tama,
naman
sir.
bumalik tayo sa peace times.
Tama. At sana maging ligtas pa rin yung mga kababayan natin na
Oo
nanatili
nga eh.
currently po sa Middle
Affected
East.
tuloy yung mga biyahe-biyahe.
Kaya nga, sir. Ano po?
So,
napakalaki talagang
Oo nga.
epekto.
Ikaw ba, Jairus, nakasubukan na bang mag-travel out of the country?
Opo, sir. Even nung bata po ako,
Ah.
naging exchange student po ako. Pero that was just in Asia, sa China, sir. Kayo po ba, Sir Ares?
Oo, medyo maraming mga napuntahan na rin tayo, tayong ibang lugar, nakapagtrabaho rin tayo sa ibang bansa. Pero dito ka lang sa Asia. Anong
Yes, sir.
pinaka-exotic na narating mong lugar?
Ang pinaka-exotic, sir, siguro po napuntahan ko po yung, sir, yung Wuhan. That was before naman po yung...
Wuhan, ha?
That was before yung pre-pandemic era naman po. Opo.
Oo, nagde-develop pa lang yun. At
Opo,
that time,
sir.
nung pumunta ka sa Wuhan.
Kayo po ba, sir? Ano po bang maituturing nyo na parang pinaka-rare or yung parang hindi po kayo makapaniwalang napuntahan nyo pong lugar o
Well, of
bansa?
course, I worked in Dubai.
Yes, sir.
So, lahat naman ang nasa isip sa Dubai is parang malaking Disneyland. Anyway. So, yung ating itong ating panauhin ngayon sa serbisyo
Opo,
CFO ay isa ding traveler ito. Para itong si Dora na explorer. ay wala akong maisip na
Tamang...
na medyo fun character na
Opo.
pwedeng, pero I think si Dora the Explorer ang pwedeng
adventurous.
kasi kung saan-saan na siya nakarating.
Opo.
Mga lugar na siguro narinig natin sa mga kwento, narinig natin sa sine, like Madagascar.
Usually naririnig ko yan, sir, sa mga Discovery Channel.
Ako, ang
Ayun, sir.
alam ko lang sa Madagascar, yung cartoons, di ba?
Cartoons. Opo.
O kaya, narinig mo na ba yung Democratic Republic of Congo?
Of Congo.
Ang alam ko lang, restaurant, bar dito yan sa Quezon City.
Congo.
Congo Grill, di ba? So, pero Jairus, itong mga naging biyahe ng ating panauhin, hindi ito travel goals.
Totoo, sir.
Hindi pamamasyal ang dahilan ng mga biyahe niya. Ang ating guest ay isang international humanitarian worker. Nabanggit ko nga, pumunta siya sa Madagascar para tumulong sa relief operations nung magkaroon doon ng outbreak ng Ebola. Diba? Yung iba parang before COVID-19, ito yung kinatatakutang outbreak.
Opo.
No, may mga sine pa dyan na nagawa tungkol sa Ebola outbreak. At nagpunta rin siya sa Democratic Republic of Congo para sumama sa grupo na tumulong para sagipin yung mga child soldiers, no, yung mga bata na ginamit para lumaban sa civil war doon, no. Siguro
Oo nga, sir, napakaganda ng background ng ating guest for today, no, sir. Napakarami na po niyang napuntahang bansa para maabot at maiabot ang kanyang humanitarian causes, no sir. Kaya siguro wag na po nating patagalin pa.
Oo.
Hayaan natin na siya na po ang magkwento ng kanyang
Yes,
mga
yes.
adventures. Welcome po sa serbisyong CFO, si Miss Mai Zamora. Hello po, Miss Mai.
Hello, Jairus. Hello, Sir Aris. Good morning.
Hello, good
Mayong
Mayong
buntag.
Mayong buntag.
Nasaan po kayo ngayon, Miss Mai?
Okay. Actually, wait, Tagalog pala, no? No, I actually like it in my car right now, but at my back is actually the field of Del Monte Plantation. So yeah, I'm kind of like in the middle of nowhere in Libuna, Bukidnon, Jairus.
Ang galing po, Miss Mai. Buti po may maayos naman po ang signal ninyo dyan.
Not really. So I had to drive because I don't have
Ah.
like good connection in my tiny house. So I live in the middle of nowhere, Jai. I think Sir Aris knows about this. Just like quick fact. I have known Sir Aris for such a long time. We worked together during Typhoon Haiyan.
Yes po.
And like yeah, that was the start of this like long friendship and working relationship with Sir Aris.
Ibig sabihin po, Miss Mai, matagal na po talaga kayong humanitarian worker.
Oh yes, I have been a humanitarian worker for like almost 15 years
15
now.
years.
I have responded to like different disaster like in a complex environment, Jairo. So but I started in the Philippines. So like from Marawi Siege, from Typhoon Haiyan, I had like so many heartbreaking stories.
Yes
Sir
po.
Aris knows about it. During Typhoon Haiyan, I was there 2 days after the disaster.
Mm.
I have witnessed and experienced disaster at the front seat of it.
Na-meet kita, well, kailangan ko magtagalog, no? Bahala na.
Okay,
Na-meet kita, Mai, when we responded to, well, of course, na-mention mo, Haiyan, no? And then,
Bohol Quake.
remember, we were also together in the Bohol earthquake. So, paano
yes.
ka ba nakapasok? Bakit ka naging humanitarian worker? What motivated you to get into this field?
Okay. Yeah, I think, sir, this is kind of like a debriefing, no? So I am actually a breadwinner. So I have 3 siblings. So actually, I started being a journalist as a correspondent in Northern Mindanao. And then also a guest lecturer in like a state university in Bukidnon and also in Xavier University at Ateneo de Cagayan. So at that time, I was like really thinking my goal is really to be a journalist, to be like talking with people and like prominent and high profile people.
Yes
But
po.
then unfortunately, my father had cancer, so I have to like really find better like compensating job for us to sustain the family and like feed my family and send my sister, my brother to school. So that's how it started. And yeah, I used to be with World Vision. I started my humanitarian and development storytelling work with World Vision, and that's where it started. So like from as you mentioned earlier, sir, from like Cebu Bohol earthquake response to Typhoon Haiyan, to Marawi Siege, to like Typhoon Maggie, Ondoy, Sendong. So like yeah, that's how it started.
Parang,
And since at that time, emergency response has been like such a big thing in the Philippines,
Opo.
and that's actually where so parang yun yung start na naging icon in terms of humanitarian work ang mga humanitarian workers. That's where we were like noticed internationally because of our dedication, our sincerity, and like sense of humanity. So yeah.
pero sa dami ng naging, well, I for the lack of a better term, sa dami ng adventures mo, Mai, ano yung pinaka unforgettable?
Whew. Okay. I think is it like personal and professional, no? No, I think the most unforgettable experience I had was there's just so much.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
No, I think during typhoon, to be very proximate. So let's start with the Philippines. I think during Typhoon Haiyan, this everywhere I go, I still like bring the story of Patrick. Patrick at that time was on the same age as me. We were like walking and trying to like see the extent of damage in Leyte, particularly in Tacloban that time. And we actually like saw him, and like he was like so miserable and hopeless. And then he knew that we have food, so I was like bringing water, like bottled water. And at that time water was like basically like so precious, like even in
Opo.
Madagascar. So yeah, he we actually like approached him, and then we offered like food, our biscuits and water, and that was the start of the conversation. And then he said that he was looking for his two kids, his mother, and also his wife, like
Beautiful.
basically the entire family. Like yeah, so we it was like a hopeless scenario, because I mean everyone was like looking for like their loved ones, everyone's like looking like zombies. And like the devastation was like really
Mm.
massive. So like yeah, we just like prayed for him, and then he allowed us to pray for him. And then like after 3 months, after like praying that, Lord, I hope like Patrick will be able to like see his family, and he will be able to return to his family, because at that time he was really hopeless that he actually like even think of like committing suicide already. So like yeah, so 3 months after, I was like back in Tacloban, and then I saw him in like one of the carinderia. I was just like eating with my colleague, and then like he approached me, and just like randomly he approached me that, Mom, I I know you. You were the one who prayed for me when I was like miserable. And then he told me that, Mom, I thank you for your prayer. I saw my kids. I am reunited with my family. And that time, that was just like it's kind of like a miracle, and it's like an answered prayer. And the good thing about it is like their community is actually like one of the beneficiaries of World Vision. So yeah, it was just like an amazing experience, an amazing encounter of like a story of humanity. And then I get to see his family, his kids, and like in a very small house back in Tacloban. So yeah.
Grabe po, no,
Yung
Sir Aris?
yung mga experience na talaga pwede nga niyang isulat into one
Yes.
book, no.
Opo.
It will be,
Yung
I've been telling that to you. Dapat isulat mo yan mga
Oo
experiences.
nga eh.
tsaka seeing the people you help na
Mm.
po sa perspective ni Miss Mai is really fulfilling, and it's really priceless na po. Kaya masasabi ko po talaga na sobrang importante, napaka-beneficial ng ginagawang trabaho ni Miss Mai for us na po.
Pero ni-level up pa ni Ma yung
Opo.
ni-level up pa niya yung kanyang pagiging humanitarian worker nung napunta na siya sa mga crisis sa ibang bansa.
Yes, oo nga, sir na po.
Ano yung mga from your international humanitarian work, Mai, ano naman yung pinaka-unforgettable
Unforgettable.
from the other places?
Okay. I think I'll gonna like see it in like siguro two things. There's actually like perks to it, but there is also like ugly side to it, no?
Yes.
Um, I think with like coming from a storyteller or communication strategist who have like worked in Indonesia for the liquefaction, Jai and Sir Aris, no?
Yes po.
It was like a tsunami. It's a triple disaster. There was also like in Bangladesh during Rohingya response. There's Madagascar and Congo for Ebola, and also like child soldiers in Congo. I think just like quickly, no, I think overall like talking with people, having that opportunity to like share their stories to generate funding to promote social justice. I think it humanity and our heart for service, and also the grief and pain that survivors experience, it's basically universal. I mean, it has like different in colors, so like because there's like white, black people, like brown people, like Asians. But like yeah, it's universal. But I think the most heartbreaking one I experienced was there's just like so much, but like just like now thinking about it, it was my experience in Indonesia when it has liquefaction. It was a story of a man, an engineer, kind of like wealthy person in Indonesia that was in Central Sulawesi. Because of the tsunami there, and then I mean it started with an earthquake and then the tsunami and then the liquefaction. It's where like the water becomes jelly
Yes,
and
yes.
it's like enveloping the whole community. And yeah, the community was like basically nowhere to be found anymore because of that one. um it was a story of like an engineer who told me and shared with me how he was witnessing his teenage girl daughter dying. Um because kasi when the liquefaction happened and the earthquake, so naipit na siya sa boulders.
Mm.
And then so he cannot basically like grab his daughter. So like he was waiting there for 6 hours until such time his his daughter died. So but below that, like on that ground, same ground, he was overhearing his wife also talking until such time it became so quiet. And then that's the time he realized that both his daughter and wife died. But before that one, he already like went to the beach and found out that his son passed away because of the tsunami. So yeah, there's just like so much. I don't think we have so much time to like talk
Yes,
like
yeah.
Yes po.
a lot of those one. But like yeah.
Ayun, ayun, Miss Mai, hello po.
Is mine now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Go
Ayun.
ahead, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes
we
po.
can
Okay.
hear you now. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Okay. So yeah. I in Democratic Republic of Congo, well, aside from those experience, like talking with people, talking with survivors of like all forms of disasters, and I think my frustration as well in a personal level, it was there that I realized that even if I am with humanitarian development work, we're like fighting for social justice, but there's also like challenges. I was not able to go back during COVID times. I was not able to go back to the country just because I am not a Canadian and an
Yeah,
American
yeah, I
citizen. So
understand that.
it's basically I was not repatriated because that flight coming out of Congo is just for Canadian and American citizens. So it was just so heartbreaking. I mean,
Mm.
Jairus or Aris, like 4 times na kami nagdespedida, and I was just like so excited, so determined to go back because I have to study at that time. So I have to leave Congo because I have an opportunity to move to study in Geneva. But at that time, because of the disaster, I mean because of COVID, yeah, I was stuck. We were like stuck there along with my colleagues for like 2-3 months because they cannot repatriate me because I don't have the same passport as
Yeah.
they do.
Alam mo, Jairo, relate ako sa sinabi ni Miss Mai kasi
Yes po.
maraming opportunity sana no to further advance yung ginagawa mo kung
Opo.
nagtatrabaho ka sa abroad. Pero dahil yung passport mo ay hindi American
Yes.
passport o yun nga sinabi naman hindi Canadian passport, papass over ka, hindi ka nako-consider just because of the
Of the
passport.
past.
So siguro yun hindi yung isang dream natin as a Filipino nation na sana ma-level up yung power ng ating
Kaya nga po.
pasaporte.
And I think naman, sir, we're also on the way, on the process
Oo.
of strengthening, lalo na yung ating international capability.
Kaya naman
Opo.
din yun ang pivot ng CFO no, for
Opo.
diaspora engagement
Totoo,
kasi
sir.
maraming pwedeng mangyari. But yung itong guesting ni Miss Mai sa atin, no, parang pinapakita lang natin na yung mga hindi lang yung mga technical skills or nasa medical field
Opo,
yung
no?
mga nagpupunta sa ibang bansa.
Kasi usually we always
Oo.
feature Filipinos in the medical field or sa education. Pero ito pong ginagawa ni Miss Mai Zamora ay isa sa mga napakahalagang kontribusyon ng ating mga overseas Filipinos pagdating sa tulong, hindi lamang ng mga kapwa nila Pilipino, no sir?
Pero itong ito ibalik na natin kay Mai yung yung mic,
Opo.
no. You mentioned earlier, no, when we started the program, na you live in an off the beaten path place, no, nasa ano siya, Jairus, sa mapakalayong lugar sa
Opo.
Bukidnon. Actually, ang daming nagpadala ng comment sa ating Facebook page, at very proud sa iyo ang mga taga Makasandig,
Oh,
Cagayan de
that's
Oro
so
City.
sweet.
Ang dami nila. Anyway, yung kwento mo na you're living off grid. No electricity, no water, you're living a Spartan life. Bakit mo pinili na manirahan ng ganun?
Totoo po.
Okay. You're like making me cry now, sir. Say hi to my neighbors in Makasandig, and also like my friends all over the world. So nagpapa-shout out sila actually. But like later we can discuss about it and talk and I mean mention their names. I hope I'll be given the time. But like yeah, I think with the devastation, I think it reached to a point, Sir Jairus,
Yes
that
po.
I was so over it. Like with I mean every day I get to hear stories of devastations, of death, of vulnerabilities, and stories of hunger, stories of like protection issues, and all these things. And like just like seeing poverty, experiencing at the same time like when I was like living with people in Madagascar, in Republic of Congo, it reached to the point that I just like want to see greens. I don't want to see people. And I think like having this lifestyle now, it's basically a therapy for me.
Yes.
And like Jairus, I don't know if you will believe me, and even like people here in Laguna are still like amazed on why I choose this life. I live in a very tiny house. I don't have electricity. I don't have running water. I'm like using rainwater.
Yes po.
I only have two solar lights, like
Mm.
one in my bedroom and like outside. And I don't have like those light bulbs. Because I wanted to protect nature, but at the same time try to heal myself and try to heal nature. Um, um, I just like want quiet, peaceful, a serene life, and it even like reached to a point, Sir Aris, that Anjay, I would know that I'm relaxed when I am starting to see poof of like tiny birds from afar, and also I know I'm relaxed when I'm starting to like kill kill flies, langaw, to feed to the ants. So like yeah, imagine the contrast of like just like going there, like every minute counts, like lifestyle with humanitarian response to that mundane lifestyle. It's healing for me. That's why I'm
Yes.
trying to share this like property and my place to like people who's also like going through the same trauma,
Yes.
the same like stress and like burnout. I mean, let's face it, humanitarian work is like such a fulfilling job, but
Opo.
sometimes it really you will reach to a point that you get so tired. And like I am in the point of my life wherein I mean I know it's a kind of privilege for me, wherein after humanitarian work I get the time to relax and just like spend time with nature. And yeah, I'm coexisting with nature, with fireflies.
So,
um s- yeah, that's actually
yun nga.
like how I started. So like now, aside from being a storyteller, a humanitarian storyteller, I am actually a mindful farmer
Farmer, oo nga.
operating or running a farm that produces vegetables, and also having this charity project of restoring like tiny forest in Bukidnon. So I call this one Lasang. So
Lasang.
why do people would see and like and think that okay, that's like really senseless. Why are you investing on those things when you are not even like earning from those? But like to me, this place is like my refuge. This is where I'm healing, and I wanted to share this one with people who's like going through the same experience.
So parang yung what you're doing now is you're from a fast-paced humanitarian work. You're slowing down, you're watching the flowers grow, you're watching the grass grow, 'di ba?
Opo.
Yes. So napaka-extreme, sir. Napaka-extreme. So
Oo nga.
yeah.
So since sayang we only have a limited time to be on air. We'd like to thank you. Daghang salamat.
Salamat po, Miss Mai.
Very quick, what's your final? We'll give you the airspace for your final message. Just a quick message.
Okay. No, I think like because this is like more on a, like overseas, like mostly the audience is overseas. Like I think the good thing we haven't like dealt with this one, but I think I'm just like so proud of being a Filipino, even if there are like ugly side to it, wherein we have
Yes.
like less opportunities from other nations because of our weak passport, right? So I missed a lot of opportunities just because of that one. I will not be able to like go to Europe right then and then, so that's why they would prefer to have someone from Europe, even if we have the same skill set. And I think like it's just like so amazing that people in other countries celebrate the efforts that we do, the heart that we have in like the passion in the work that we do abroad. So yeah, and like happy Women's Month to everyone,
Opo.
except for those opportunist women who's like taking advantage of the law, the 9262 law. So yeah.
Ay, maraming salamat po, Miss Mai. Napakaganda po ng naging sharing po ninyo sa serbisyong CFO ngayong araw, kasi hindi po talaga biro, no, Sir Ares?
Yes.
Yung ginawa po at patuloy na ginagawa ni Miss Mai na advocacy, no, para makatulong sa humanity. And at the same time, it's also a symbolism, no po, sir, na katulad din po ng ating mga overseas Filipinos na hindi rin natin alam kung ano po ang pinagdadaanan ngayon.
Yes,
Kinakailangan na unahin din po
Oo.
ang kanilang mga sarili, no, to have some healing.
Marami tayong natututunan sa ginawa sa
Totoo
experience
po.
si Mai at yung kanyang ginawa for self-care. Diba?
Yes, opo, sir.
So kahanga-hanga ang dedikasyon ni Miss Mai Zamora ay kahanga-hanga sa paglilingkod sa sangkatauhan at sa inang kalikasan. Sana may mag-nominate sa kanya sa PAFIO, no?
Kaya nga, Sir
Kaya
Ares.
pa siguro, no?
Opo.
So, maraming salamat, Mai Zamora, at nagdaan na naman po ang isang episode ng ating programa para sa mga overseas Pinoys.
At sa bawat kwento, sa bawat impormasyon, at sa bawat serbisyong hatid ng CFO, layunin naming mapalapit ang gobyerno saan man sa mundo.
Tatandaan, kababayan, basta't balita at serbisyo publiko.
CFO kasama mo saan man sa mundo.
Hanggang sa muli, ito ang
Serbisyong CFO sa Bagong Pilipinas.
Narito na ang programang mag-uugnay sa mga Pilipinong naninirahan sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Serbisyong CFO sa Bagong Pilipinas. Serbisyong hatid ng Commission on Filipino Overseas at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Ang programang magtatampok sa mga proyekto at serbisyo publiko upang mapalakas ang ugnayan ng milyong-milyong Pilipino sa kanilang bansang pinagmulan. Serbisyong CFO sa Bagong Pilipinas. Dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.